Pisces and illusion. Well, if you're a first-time watcher, I'm Lamarr Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader, and I would love to do a personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading for you. Accurate tarot reading. Please contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com for your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading or birth chart reading, okay? I also do birth chart readings, okay? If you have any questions, please check out the FAQ section as well as the personal ethics section on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, okay? I would also love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new awesome video. And I would also love it if you would like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. The links will be down below in the description box, okay? Pisces and illusion. Well, let's talk about this. Pisces is a deeply, deeply intuitive zodiac sign. We have to remember that. It's ruled by Neptune. And Neptune rules spirituality and rules intuition, okay? Pisces is a water sign, and the water signs tend to be very deeply intuitive, but there are levels to it, right? I would say, the least to most intuitive, but we have to remember that the signs are all super duper intuitive. The water signs would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, in that order, all right? Pisces has, I believe, the kind of a mix between Cancer's ability to sense people's emotions and Scorpio's ability to sense the truth, right? But because Pisces is also ruled by Neptune, which, Neptune deals with spirituality, but it also deals with illusions, confusions, and addictions, and mysticism, and that kind of, energy, which can kind of get Pisces to get kind of caught up in themselves and to get kind of lost in the sauce, right? Pisces is also influenced and ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius. Jupiter is the planet of the abstract mind, the abstract thoughts, higher learning, higher education, religion. Excuse me, I'm congested, morality, our core value systems, things of that nature, right? That's what Jupiter rules. Jupiter is also the planet of luck. So I should also do a video on Pisces and luck. But anyways, Pisces, because they're deeply intuitive, they often can forget to take those those intuitive lenses off. Sometimes it's almost like, forgetting to take the rose-colored glasses off. Sometimes Pisces, just forgets to take those glasses off and kind of look through the eyes of reality, right? And it's just that Neptune energy. They're so used to feeling things out and sensing the truth and sensing, oh, this is what I sense, so this must be true. Which kind of gets them caught up, right? Now, what is illusion? Let's talk about what illusion is. Let's define illusion, okay? What does illusion mean, all right? So illusion, as defined by dictionary.com, is something that deceives by producing a false or misleading impression of reality. So that's kind of what we just talked about. Sometimes Pisces, because of that Neptunian energy, because they kind of sometimes sense, or they try to kind of feel out and sense reality through the lenses of intuition, through the lenses of spirit, through the lenses of what they feel sometimes, because sometimes they link feelings with spirit. It's all mixed up sometimes with that Neptunian energy, right? So let's read some more, okay? The state or condition of being deceived, misapprehension. A perception as a visual stimuli, optical illusion, that represents what is perceived in a way different from the way it is in reality. So once again, Pisces tend to perceive something differently than what it is perceived in reality, but sometimes different than what is based in reality. Now, that does not necessarily mean that what Pisces sees or what Pisces feels, what Pisces senses isn't true, right? It just means that sometimes Pisces perceives what isn't always there. Does that make sense? Or it's there, but it's not there in such a prominent way that Pisces thinks it is, you know? Sometimes Pisces senses something, and it can be something very minute and small, and they kind of hold on that. They kind of hold to that. They kind of take that with a grain of salt. They take it and run with it. Oh, I felt this about this person, so this must be true. This person must like me. This person must A, B, C, D, and G, right? But then you turn out that this person maybe doesn't like you as much as you thought, or this person isn't A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? You know, like, or didn't do, you know, what you thought they did. You know, like, it's just sometimes Pisces, because we're so deeply intuitive and so spiritually connected. Remember, this is the sign that is easily able to connect with people, you know, of all zodiac signs, of all temperaments, of all backgrounds. This is the sign that is the most compatible with everyone. This is the sign that is the most easily able to make friends. This is the sign that is the one that is able to form emotional connections with any person. Remember, because they operate on that level of emotions, of spirituality, of intuition. It's all connected, right? Divine. It's all connected. It's all one. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of a Pisces mind. Like, it's all, like, you know, it's a whirlwind of, you know, and knowledge mixed in, like a bunch of knowledge and topics, you know, like obscure, taboo topics, because that's what Jupiter's all about, you know, the obscure, the taboo, the abstract, you know. So, and what's the obscure? What's the abstract? What's the taboo? Well, spirituality sometimes, the metaphysical, you know, be unseen, what we can't see with our eye, but what we can sense with our spirit, what we can sense with our intuition, you know. And sometimes Pisces likes to know that they're not crazy, right? So they'll try to explain something, or they'll be like, "Did you feel this too? Do you feel this sometimes?" You know, and the other person can sometimes be like, "Pisces, no, what are you talking about? Like, you're looking too deep into it. You know, you're being too delusional. You're being too, you know, there's always this illusion, you know, word that often comes up with Pisces. Delusion, you know, illusion, confusion, you know, illusion, you know, like, but there's beauty in that, you know. Often the people that are called, you know, the craziest or the most delusional are actually the smartest, most intelligent, most genius people, right? You know, I'm sure they thought Einstein was crazy in his day. Is Einstein a Pisces, actually? Let me look at that. What is Einstein's zodiac sign? I just want to know, like, well, I'm not going to use Safari because that's going to take a while to pop up. No shade, Safari. Einstein zodiac sign. Einstein zodiac sign, that rhymed. He's a Pisces. He's a Pisces. I swear to you. I looked up Einstein's zodiac sign. It says Albert Einstein was born with the sun in Pisces, the most romantic, imaginative, and dreamy sign of the zodiac. At least they didn't use any word with illusion, right? But Einstein is a Pisces. Now, do you really think that they thought Einstein was amazing, you know, and, you know, they probably thought Einstein was crazy, you know, they probably thought he was delusional, oh, he's such a, you know, there he is being a Pisces, all those illusions, you know, like, no, look at him now, like, we are looking at him, you know, now as one of the most smartest, genius people in the world, right? But it's not only until after that we caught up, oh wow, 50 years later, he was, you know, one of the smartest men in the world, you know, and we all thought he was crazy, like, you know. So, you know, illusion isn't a bad thing. It just means you kind of see more than what's beyond the eye. Now, sometimes you see stuff that isn't necessarily there, but it's there. Does that make sense? It's there, but it's not there in the way that you think it is. Does that make sense? Or it's there, but the other person, the other people, the whole world sometimes isn't aware of it. Which makes you, because you're the only one who sees it, feel crazy, right? So it's all kind of subjective, you know. And I think that's the end of this topic for me, you know, Pisces and illusion, you know. It's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, Pisces, illusion. Let's look at, I just kind of want to look at some more definitions of illusion. Because I don't know if I actually agree with. Related forms can be confused. Fantasy. A false appearance or deceptive impression of reality. A false or misleading perception or belief. It's interesting. The definition of illusion makes me feel like, you know, that aspect of Pisces makes them seem crazy, but I don't think they're crazy. I just think that they see what the eye can't see, you know. Sometimes I do think that Pisces can take stuff that necessarily isn't there, or isn't there in the way that they think it is, and run with it, you know. And I think it's important to work on that, and I think that just comes from spiritual conviction and kind of deciphering and defining what is reality and what isn't reality, you know, and defining that for yourself, you know, because sometimes Pisces can be like influenced by, you know, the surroundings and the people around them and their beliefs and ideas, you know, but yeah, Pisces and illusion, you know. This is an interesting topic that you know, we could talk about on and on and on, and I'm sure there are other, you know, side topics, you know, that could come from this topic, but I'd like to know what you think about this topic, Pisces and illusion. Pisces, the moon card. Pisces, I don't know if you've ever gotten a tarot reading. By the way, Pisces, you can purchase your own personal, private, confidential psychic tarot reading from me, Lamarr Townsend. I'm a natural, intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic psychic tarot reader. And I would love to do a private, confidential psychic tarot reading for you, Pisces, okay? Contact me at lamarrtownsendtarot.com for your own tarot reading or your own birth chart reading. Once again, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. You can purchase your reading directly from my website. I would also love it if you would follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend and like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official if you have a Facebook. And of course, if you enjoy this video, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and of course, Pisces, share with your friends and family, okay? Pisces, I don't know if you've ever gotten a tarot reading, but each of the 12 zodiac signs has their own ruling card in tarot. And your ruling card happens to be the moon card. Now, it's interesting because in astrology, in the zodiac, the moon, meaning the planet, actually rules the zodiac sign Cancer, your fellow water sign sister and brethren, right? Cancers. But in tarot, your ruling card is the moon. And the moon in tarot speaks of our intuitive self, our subconscious self, our subconscious reality, our intuitive reality. A great example is, you know how sometimes when we're placed in unfamiliar surroundings, like maybe when we start a new school, or we start a new grade and we're going to a new school, something like that, or we start a new job and, you know, the surroundings are just unfamiliar, maybe a little bit uncomfortable for us. The first things that we do are we listen to our instincts, our body. Maybe we get uncomfortable, we cross our arms or something like that, because we're listening to our body, our intuition, our feelings, and they're telling us that we're uncomfortable, unfamiliar, right? Sometimes, though, our mind, meaning our conscious mind, isn't quick enough to catch up to what's going on around us. It isn't quick enough to react to what's going on around us, meaning, you know, especially react in our best interest, our self-interest, right? But if you pay attention, the subconscious, the mind's trying to figure out, why do I feel uncomfortable? Who do I go talk to? How do I fix this situation? How do I fix what I'm feeling? How do I fix what my intuition, my body's telling me, which is telling me I'm uncomfortable? Meanwhile, your body is protecting yourself. Whether you're crossing your arms, you're tapping your finger, you're doing something to protect yourself, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your subconscious. Now, if we're going by just that example, it seems to me that your subconscious self, meaning your intuitive self, your intuitive body, seems to actually know what's best rather than your conscious self. And your conscious self is considered your intellectual self, or could be considered your intellectual self, because there is intellectual information, intellectual things that are stored in our subconscious self as well. That's a different story, though. But in that moment, it's safe to say, I think, that our subconscious self served our better self-interest more so than our conscious self did, right? They're both doing the same thing. They're both working in our self-interest. It's just that our subconscious self worked a little bit faster. It's working a little bit faster than our unconscious, our conscious self, right? So sometimes it's better to stay in that kind of subconscious energy and kind of maybe connect to that subconscious energy more so than the conscious self, the rationalizing self, right? Because sometimes the answers actually come from within, right? They come from that intuitive knowing, that intuitive wisdom, that intuitive self. Because that intuitive self is connected to the collective consciousness, right? Where all the answers are, right? For everybody. So what I think the moon tells us is that when we're in those moments of uncomfortableness, of vagueness, of uncertainty, of what's going to happen next, you know, maybe instead of rationalizing things, coming up with a methodical plan, analyzing things, maybe actually the best plan of action is to listen to your intuition, right? To be still, go to that place of peace and calmness for yourself, and just listen, right? Another thing I tell my clients with this type of energy is to keep a dream journal, because once again, the moon speaks of the subconscious, and oftentimes the subconscious comes through in our dreams, right? It's oftentimes as well that the subconscious has a lot of the answers, right? It's often that our dreams have a lot of the answers, right? So I do tell a lot of my clients a lot of times to keep dream journals, okay? So that's another great thing that... And just keeping a journal in general, right? Because we have to remember, you know, another thing I tell my clients is you're transferring energy from within yourself through the pen to the paper. So it's a transformative experience keeping a journal, right? But that, once again, is a different story. Let's keep with the subject. In my head, I'm talking to myself. The moon speaks of getting in touch with your spiritual self, your intuitive self. Knowing that even in those moments of uncertainty, of maybe even fear, you know, of a vagueness that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You know? That the answer is within. That the answer is to get in touch with your intuition, your intuitive self, your spiritual self, your higher self. Right? And that's what the moon speaks of. Everything happens for a reason. We're exactly where we are. We're exactly where we need to be at any given moment, at any given time. Sometimes that can be debated, definitely. But in those moments, are we connected to our higher self, right? Because if we were connected to our higher selves, maybe we wouldn't even be on that path, right? It's kind of what the moon speaks about, right? So it's just important to stay connected to our intuitive self and to know that everything's going to be okay in the long run, even when it seems like it's not. Hey you guys, before I got into the video, I just wanted to talk briefly about my new ebook, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language. Whether you're looking to improve your sex life and your dating life, or if you're just looking to expand your knowledge about astrology, this is definitely the right book for you. This book is meant to help you improve your sex life, your dating life, and your love life, your relationships, and to spice it up in the bedroom if need be, or to just once again, help you learn more about astrology. So if you're interested in any of these things, if you're interested in learning about the different love languages and the different sex languages of the zodiac signs, definitely look into getting this book, Zodiac Signs, Sex Language, written by me, edited by me, and designed by me, Lamarr Townsend. So you can purchase this ebook on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or you can purchase it on Amazon, on the Amazon Kindle ebook store, alright? Or just amazon.com. Alright, into the video we go. Thank you for listening and watching. Pisces man and Pisces woman. Why people find you so attractive? Well, the first thing that immediately comes to my mind for Pisces is that you guys are highly intelligent, highly creative individuals. You guys are influenced and ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So Neptune rules the spirit world. It rules the metaphysical. It rules the illusions and confusions in life. It also rules our hidden strengths and weaknesses and our soul growth and things of that nature. So it's a very great placement. You're the only zodiac sign ruled by Neptune. So that is, an amazing thing. You guys are highly spiritual people. You guys have an innate connection to the spirit world, an innate understanding of the metaphysical and, astrology, and maybe on some level the meaning of life. You guys are super duper wise. Jupiter is a wise planet as well as Neptune. Jupiter rules our ability to embrace and be tolerant of other people and their beliefs and their ideas and ideology, which makes you guys super gentle and open-hearted people, which is highly attractive. Because whereas most of the zodiac signs, or a lot of the zodiac signs, I'll say, want to impress something on you, want to push an idea or belief on you, or just don't want to hear about your idea or belief. They don't accept it, off the bat, for whatever reason. Pisces is willing to hear you out. Pisces is an open ear, an open, heart, for you to, express yourself with, Pisces are just, very understanding people, and you don't find that very often in a lot of the zodiac signs. And I mean understanding on a deep level, understanding to the point where they may not agree, totally understand, but they accept you, they respect you, they respect your beliefs, and what you choose to believe, because they understand it's your journey, it's your walk of life, right? And you're just, allowing the Pisces to be and a part of your journey, and vice versa. The Pisces is allowing you to be a part of his or her journey. So just very nurturing people, open-hearted. They are a water sign, so they are also very emotionally intuitive, very emotionally intelligent, which is always a great thing. I find that highly attractive. I don't have a lot of water in my chart, although I do have Pluto and Venus conjunct Scorpio, so that's a lot going on there. But, I mean in the prominent places like the sun, the moon, the rising, Mars, Mercury, even in certain houses, like the 5th house or the 7th house, or the 1st house, which is the rising sign. But anyways, you know, Pisces, are just very open-minded, creative individuals. Like I said, they have an innate, connection to the spirit world and to the collective consciousness that they can tap into at any time because of that Neptune energy. So, this makes them highly creative, great as artists. These people tend to be very artistic. They tend to, have great taste in music, great taste in, art and decor, that may take from different elements all over the world, like, because of that Jupiter energy. They're just all about embracing different cultures and ideologies and beliefs, right? So that's why I love Pisces. They're just such open-hearted, creatures. They can have friends, of all different creeds, races, backgrounds, and it's just like being in a Pisces is energy, in a Pisces presence. You never know, you'll never be bored. You'll always learn something new, if you're just willing to hear them out, because they'll be willing to hear you out. Pisces, in terms of looks, I find a lot of them wear glasses. They may wear glasses or something like that. Something with the sight. They may like to dress down. Pisces like to dress down. They actually don't like to bring a lot of attention to themselves. But depending on, their other placements they have going on, they can be flashy people, like if they have, like Leo or Aries or something like that. But they have moments where they like to flash it up, but for the most part, they really like to blend in. They really like to camouflage, and they really like to observe, and, understand people on a deep level. You can understand someone by talking with them, but you learn a lot by observing and watching, and I think Pisces knows that a lot. Pisces is great when it comes to crisis. They know exactly what to do, and that's that Neptune energy. They naturally, tap into the spirit, and their spirit automatically knows what they need to do. So, having a Pisces around you, you'll never be bored. They always have something going on. They always can find something fun to do. They can always find something fun to just create, out of thin air, Pisces are just creative people. And you don't find that innate creativity that they have, just, and I mean creative to, even to the point of, finding creative solutions to problems. Like, oh man, the road I always take to work is blocked off. Well, I'm going to take the back road, and then on the way to the back road, I'm going to stop here, here, and here, and I've been meaning to want to go to that store anyway, so, like, they're really quick on their feet, I mean to say, like, they, and when they go a different route, they're willing to learn, like, oh, wow, I took a new road today, like, I learned something new today, like, they are just those type of people who get so excited. They love learning, they love exploring and discovering new things. And they can make anything in life seem so fun. It seems so meaningful. They help you find the deep meaning in things. Because there's always a deeper meaning. All right. Their eyes can sometimes be a bit sad. Their eyes can sometimes be a bit, you want to know more. You want to know, like, how are you feeling? Pisces is that kind of energy where it's like they're either this way or that way. They're either really skinny or a bit plumper. They're either this way or that way. Like, it's like, but then there are some gray areas with Pisces. They are a dual sign, so Pisces are just very individual creatures. They're individual people, with a mind of their own, who are very passionate about the things that they do. And I think the most attractive thing, aside from their looks, is their mind, their heart. you know, of a Pisces, you know, unfortunately often gets taken advantage of. But you know, you kind of just want to protect them. You kind of just want to embrace them just as much as they embrace you, you know, and you know, they just want a deep connection with people, you know, and they want to be understood and be, you know, loved and embraced, you know, just like the rest of humanity. But they go about it in a very gentle, nurturing, you know, open-hearted way that sometimes gets them into trouble. But the great thing and the most attractive thing I find about them is that even when they get disappointed and they have setbacks and, you know, maybe even get betrayed, or, you know, they just go through emotional, you know, upheavals, a Pisces still finds the strength to pull themselves out of that. The Pisces still finds the will, the motivation, the inspiration to keep going, you know, and that inspire others to keep going and to keep doing them and being them as well. So, you know, Pisces, they are just beautiful souls, period. You know what I'm saying? Pisces are just beautiful, beautiful souls, and they're attractive souls. They're attractive people when they really believe in themselves and believe in their talent and their capabilities and their creativity and their intelligence. A Pisces can walk into a room and everyone wants them, you know. But the thing is that they have the innate emotional intelligence, emotional wherewithal, emotional control over themselves, that they know that, you know, okay, everyone wants me in this room, but I don't want everyone. I'm only looking for a certain person, and that certain person has to live up to a Pisces standards, okay? So, oh, alright, Pisces, what are some reasons why you guys find yourself so attractive? Let me know in the comments below. Lamarr Townsend Tarot is my website, alright? So, yeah. Pisces season. Let's talk about Pisces season. Okay, Pisces season officially starts around February 21st, and, you know, goes until, you know, around March 20th, March 21st, when spring, you know, is officially sprung. All right. So, Pisces season, it's still cold relatively, you know, depending on where you live. Where I live, it's still cold, unfortunately. So, you know, we're getting the lingering effects still of Aquarius season and Capricorn season. But spring is slowly opening up. The flowers are slowly starting to bloom. Minds are starting to open. People are starting to become more creative and open with each other and just open to life. So let's talk about Pisces season, okay? Remember, if you would like your own personal reading from me, check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. So things to know and remember about Pisces during Pisces season. Now, these are some things to know and remember whether you're a Pisces or not, okay? Just remember, you know, when it's Pisces season, this is what it's about. So Pisces season, first of all, Pisces is a water sign actually ruled by Neptune and Jupiter, all right? Pisces is mainly ruled by Neptune, but also co-ruled by Jupiter. So Neptune rules illusions, confusions. It also rules our hidden strengths and weaknesses, our private affairs, solitude, and soul growth. It also rules creativity and art and music, all right? Jupiter rules long-distance travel and expansion and open-mindedness and the ability to be tolerant. And it also rules philosophy and higher education. So this is Pisces season. Let's get into it. So Pisces season is an excellent time for spiritual growth and opening your third eye chakra, all right? Your third eye chakra is right here, all right? You often hear about, you know, people saying the third eye. That's because, you know, it's the spiritual eye. It's the eye, you know, where we see things that we can't see with our two physical eyes, or your one eye, whatever your situation is, right? That is our third eye. You know, Pisces season is good. It's a good time to work on your intuition. It's a good time to work on your spirituality and to become more one with nature, and to also develop your psychic abilities as well too. So, you know, it's a good time for all that. You have to keep in mind that we're still fresh, you know, in the beginning of the year as well, and we have a lot of months ahead of us. All right, so it's a really, really good time to get your spiritual grounding now, you know, to get that third eye opening now, so that as we get deeper into the year, you're able to trust your intuition, you're able to follow your path with ease. Okay. So ground yourself and do the spiritual work, all right, to get ahead spiritually, in front of everyone else, so that by, the time December rolls around, the end of the year rolls around, you're good. You've already, did your work. You had a good year, all right, because you did your work during Pisces season, all right. Don't be afraid of solitude during this season as well. But like I said, Neptune rules solitude, all right, and soul growth. So curling up with a good book, during this time, or, doing a creative project, your own creative project. Maybe you're into music, or maybe you're into drawing or something like that, painting, doing whatever it is that makes you feel good, that inspires you creatively, that, allows you to escape a little bit in a way. Remember, Neptune also rules escapism too, so sometimes we like to escape from our problems, and that's also Pisces season too. Just remember, it's all about escaping your problems in a healthy way. Pisces can also rule addiction. Pisces can also rule drinking and things like that. So you have to be careful with that escapism. But it's a good time to escape in a book, escape in creative projects. It's also a good time to do all of these, creative things, listening to music, opening your third eye, delving into your spirituality. It's a season to escape, to be creative. Creativity and escapism and spirituality are an all-time high during this time, so you really want that to be your main focus during Pisces season. Self-reflection during Pisces season. Remember, Pisces season, is all about, solitude and growing, soul growth, allowing ourselves to grow and heal and evolve, all right, and not staying the same. And in order to do all that, you need to self-reflect, okay? You need to introspect, all right? So you need to learn your lessons now through self-reflection, so that, once again, by the time the end of the year, the last quarter of the year rolls around, you've already learned your lessons, so you won't have to repeat your lessons. You won't have to relearn your lessons. It's all about breaking those cycles during Pisces season, recognizing, the patterns as well in the cycles. What keeps you stuck in those cycles? Why do these cycles always show up in your life? That's a good time, to really figure those things out during Pisces season. So you'll find a lot of people that will actually maybe enroll in therapy during Pisces season or something like that, or do things that are therapeutic, like joining a club or, something like that. So as you can see, I have my notes here. It's a good time to be open to friendship, you guys, and meeting new people. The wonderful thing I love about Pisces is that out of all the zodiac signs, I think Pisces is the number one zodiac sign that's the easiest to get along with. And that's because they have that Neptunian and Jupiterian energy to them, okay? Neptune is spirit. It's the spirit world. It's spirituality. It's open-mindedness. To the spirit, though. So Pisces, with that Neptune energy, are able to transcend the physical barriers of the human reality that we live in and connect spiritually with people. Now, that Jupiter energy that Pisces also has allows them to be open-minded and tolerant of other people's belief systems and philosophies and, where they are at their journey in their life, So, Pisces is a really, really, you guys, it's a good time, for friendship and meeting new people and making friends, so don't be afraid of meeting new people during this time. As I was saying, listen to your intuition during Pisces season, okay? Everything is not always as it seems, especially during Pisces season. You have to remember that Neptune rules illusions and confusions, okay? So you got to take off the rose-colored glasses. Learn to trust your intuition. Trust your gut, okay, during this time. That's the key, all right, to all your answers, to all your questions, okay? Is to trust your gut and go with your gut instinct, because your first instinct is typically always the right instinct, okay? Be creative, guys, all right? Let your inner child come out to play, all right? Lose yourself in fantasy. Lose yourself in your dreamy desires, all right? Do something you've never done, travel, do something fun, do something that inspires you and motivates you to live a more creative life, live a more fluid life, all right? It's a good time to be fluid and adaptive as well, to kind of go with the flow and be spontaneous. So, don't be afraid of that spontaneity, taking risks with this Pisces energy as well. Guys, be open to romance, all right? Pisces is exalted in Venus, all right? So, you know, there's a reason why it's exalted in Venus. It's that like I was saying, that Neptunian and Jupiterian energy that they have, where they're just very open-minded, and love is really blind to a Pisces. So, I find a lot of Pisces can be, you know, side note, pansexual or bisexual, you know, gender, race, you know, none of these matter to a Pisces because it's the spirit, all right? So, with that being said, be open to romance during this time, okay? Like I was saying, Pisces is exalted in Venus, so if you have Venus in Pisces, you know, this is a really good time for you, all right? Venus is the planet of love, and Pisces is the planet, or Neptune is the planet of the soul. So you can find a soul connection during this time, all right? A love connection in terms of a spiritual connection, a deeper connection, okay? So be open to love and friendship during this time, you guys. Don't be so much into your solitude that you forget the world out there, all right? There's a whole world out there, all right, that you have to, you know, tackle and learn and enjoy, all right? Lastly, work on healing, you guys, okay? Healing is so important, all right? Let go of what's weighing you down, all right? You don't want to be weighed down fish in the sea, okay? Pisces is the double fish, all right? That's their symbol. You got to do things, like I was saying, that inspire you and that motivate you and that uplift your soul during this time, okay? It's all about doing things that make you feel good, that help you to, like I said, let go of what's weighing you down, what's no longer working for you. So this is Pisces season, all right? Be open, go with the flow, and don't hold on to anything that no longer serves your highest good. What makes a Pisces happy? Ironically, weird things like thunderstorms and rainstorms, things that, you know, go on with the weather, that ironically causes them to reflect and think and go within. I feel like a Pisces would only understand that. Pisces enjoy solitude, and I don't think that people understand that very much because they can be so social. Pisces also does enjoy being social, especially with people that they love, and they can find friends so easily. You know, it's so easy for a Pisces to find a friend to hang out with. But, you know, Pisces definitely need their alone time to go within, to go in their own world, to reflect, to manifest, you know, to do things that kind of recharge them and get them back in touch with themselves, because Pisces also has this thing sometimes where they can take on other people's energies or personalities a bit, so they have to pull back, and that goes back to boundaries and Neptune and, you know, illusions and confusions and blah blah blah. That's a whole different astrology video. By the way, subscribe. I'm an astrologer as well as a psychic tarot reader, so if you want a reading from me, a personal, confidential psychic tarot reading or an astrology birth chart reading, check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. The link to my website's in the description box. It's in the comment section. It's also in the title of this video. But going back to Pisces, they're very social creatures, but they need their alone time. They need their solitude. And, you know, sometimes even if it's too loud or there's too many people at home, and a Pisces feels, you know, still like they're not getting that solitude that they need, even in their room with the door closed, with the house full of people, a Pisces will go out in, like, nature or something like that, or go on a walk, or, you know, go somewhere where they know it's quiet, there's no one around, if there's not that many people around. If there are people around, they mind their business. You know, and Pisces can really be alone. They like their alone time. You know, that's necessary for a Pisces. So if a Pisces spends time alone, you know, don't think it's a bad thing. Don't think they're, you know, depressed. They might be, but most of the time they just, you know, kind of, you know, need that alone time. They may shut the door, you know, and be in there all day and come out, you know, the next day and be just fine. Pisces love being in their own world. And when I talk about their own world, that can mean a multitude of things, okay? When I talk about a Pisces in their own world, that can be, you know, in their head, their kind of imaginary world that they retreat to when they're alone, you know, maybe when they're watching TV or, you know, whatever the situation is. But Pisces are very creative people, very artistic people. They're ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules the arts, it rules creativity, it rules music. So a lot of Pisces tend to be musicians. Music definitely makes Pisces happy. They're not musicians themselves. They love listening to music. They probably have an eclectic taste in music, or a very specific taste in music. But, you know, Pisces also are creators in a lot of ways. They are artists, you know, they express themselves artistically. That makes a Pisces happy, when they can retreat into their own world and create their own world as well. You know, like I was saying, a Pisces, you know, they're creators, they're creatives, they're artistic, they have a good sense of style as well. So, you know, Pisces can literally turn their home into like their own kind of world, their own kind of oasis, you know, that reflects who they are inside, and can be a really beautiful thing. And when people appreciate that, you know, that makes Pisces really happy. Pisces just like to be appreciated. You know, it goes deeper and beyond what can be seen with the eye with the Pisces. And it's interesting because they're ruled by Neptune, and Neptune rules the connection to the spirit world. So Pisces by nature tend to be very spiritual people, even innately, even if they don't know it. For example, like a Pisces may be very in tune with nature, and Pisces may, you know, go out in nature, have that alone time, and, you know, actually get a lot of insight, you know, from just being in nature. And what they don't know is that's that intuition, that spirit speaking to you and giving you insight. So, you know, they can have little rituals like that too, you know, that makes them happy, you know. And when they can bring someone into those rituals who is very meaningful, because a Pisces is only going to bring you into those very private, solitudinal moments, unless you're trustworthy, unless you're worthy, period, and unless they trust you, and unless they like you as well, you know. And you can appreciate that on a spiritual level, not just oh, this is cool, this is a vibe. No, this is a moment, you know, like this is, you know, nature, this is, you know, intuition, this is like a spiritual experience, you know, for a Pisces. And if you can connect with that too, that makes a Pisces really happy. Because Pisces are very deep people. They see meaning in everything, you know, and when they listen to that and they trust that, and it turns out to be a good thing for them, you know, they receive a blessing, or, you know, they stumble upon some new opportunity just by following that intuition, following that insight, following that spiritual guidance, that makes them really happy. Because that confirms to them that there's more to this world that we live in that meets the eye, you know. Once again, reaffirming that innate spirituality that they have. For example, you know, a Pisces may, you know, be worrying about whether or not, you know, they're going to be able to afford school, or afford a rent, or afford this or that. And, you know, they hear something on the radio talking about, you know, I don't know, here's some new ways to start a business, you know, and Pisces sees that as, you know, I should start my own business. And, you know, of course the business isn't going to take, you know, overnight to be successful, you know. Pisces knows this for the most part, although they're dreamers. Eventually, within a couple months, that business becomes very successful. And by trusting their intuition, you know, their guidance that they got, you know, just from listening to the radio, right? Like, they have a successful business with a good flow of income coming in, and the next thing you know, they're not worrying about bills. They're not worrying about whether or not they can pay this, or whether or not they can do that. And they solve that problem simply by listening to their guidance and trusting their intuition. Now, will a Pisces always trust their intuition or guidance? No, depending on how much that Pisces trusts themselves and is in tune with themselves. But when they take those steps and that bravery and courage to trust the process, to trust their spiritual guidance, to trust that what they think they thought that meant is actually what that meant, and trust that and go with it, that's a Pisces who will eventually learn to trust spirit, to trust their intuition, and will eventually hone their spiritual skills. Now, the thing with that is having the balance between the spiritual and the physical, the real world. Sometimes they can get caught up too much in the spiritual, and that becomes a thing. So learning balance is also part of that process. And when they can have balance like that, That's a really happy Pisces. I hope that makes sense to someone out there. Beautiful things make Pisces happy. Beautiful people make Pisces happy. Beautiful animals, fluffy, cute animals make Pisces happy. Romance makes Pisces happy. Art makes Pisces happy. Good art, makes a Pisces happy. There are so many things that make a Pisces happy that I think other people take for granted, Like Pisces loves animals, they are very much the types of people who are, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people in PETA are Pisces, they can be, very vigilant about, rooting for the underdog and rooting and standing up for those who are bullied and things like that, because I think, a lot of times Pisces knows how that feels, in some circumstance. So when they're able to stand up for someone they love, whether it's a friend, a family member, their loved one, their partner, all right, their husband, their wife, their brother, their sister, their animal, their dog, their cat, their pet. That makes a Pisces happy because they know that in that moment, once again, that self-sacrificing nature is coming out and they're standing for something, They're standing up for someone. Like that in itself is a spiritual act. It's beautiful. But most importantly, a Pisces that learns to stand up for him or herself is also a happy Pisces. By the way, this is not just for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, 1st through 12th house, North Node, Chiron, or Vesta. This is for all of those placements, okay? Not just for one specific. So if you have Pisces Sun, this is also for Pisces Moon, Rising, and all other placements in between. Why a Pisces may ignore you or cut you off. Specifically, why a Pisces woman or a Pisces man may ignore you or cut you off. Let's get into it. Well, Pisces have a way of shutting things down in a very passive-aggressive kind of way. They can be very passive-aggressive kind of people, but don't get it twisted, They can have a side to them where they can be extremely aggressive, if pushed to the limit, right? But, reining it in, Pisces are very passive-aggressive people. So one way they shut something down is by ignoring a person, and cutting them off or cutting a situation off, that is one way that they will shut a situation down, shut a person down. So they may be shutting you down as a way of ignoring you or cutting you off. Just so maybe they don't go over the edge, you don't go over the edge, the situation doesn't go over the edge, someone else doesn't go over the edge. They kind of, it's kind of a self-protective mechanism, but it's also a way of putting up a boundary without stating that boundary. They can be really kind of, interesting with that, Pisces. By the way, I'm not talking about just Pisces Sun, I'm talking about Pisces Moon, Pisces Rising, Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Saturn, 1st through 12th house, North Node, Saturn, North Node, South Node, Chiron, Vesta, and all those placements in between. Basically, if you have Pisces in your chart, this reading is for you, okay? And if you have no idea what I just said, you should probably get a birth chart reading. And if you do know what I just said, still get a birth chart reading from me on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I am an astrologer as well as a psychic tarot reader, so I can read your tarot cards as well as your birth chart or natal chart, and I would love to read for you. So check out my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com, purchase your reading, and within 24 hours or sooner, I'll send you an email confirmation letting you know I received your payment, and then within 1 to 3 days or sooner, typically it's sooner, we will get your reading done ASAP, as soon as possible. They can also ignore you or cut you off as a way of making you feel inferior. Pisces are very gentle creatures. They don't like hurting anyone's feelings. They don't like starting a fight. They don't like big, confrontations. They're just not those types of people for the most part. There are those Pisces who can definitely be confrontational. Maybe mixed with like an Aries energy on the Aries cusp or something like that. I don't know. But nonetheless, they can ignore you or cut you off as a way of making you feel inferior, as a way of kind of cutting you down to size, so you don't have an opportunity to make them feel inferior or, feel your own oats, for some reason. It's kind of like a leveling. It's kind of like a tool for Pisces, or like a game for Pisces, I guess. The whole ignoring and cutting one off thing. to gain power, basically. But it's also a protective mechanism to kind of avoid predators, if that makes sense. And when I say that, I mean in the sense of, like, think of animals that have natural protective mechanisms that protect them from predators. Like an armadillo has all those, like, prickly things on it that protects it from predators. When a predator's around, it just kind of rolls up in a ball, and then unless that predator wants to get poked, gets their eye poked out, they don't mess with that armadillo. That's kind of how Pisces is with their ignoring and cutting one off situation sometimes. It's like a self-protective mechanism, but it's also a way of letting you know you're not all that. Like, you can't really gain control over me, or, like, gain control over the situation. Like, simmer down a bit, have several seats, basically. Interestingly enough, a Pisces may ignore you, or mainly ignore you, not really cut you off, but they may ignore you. If they're to the extreme with this, they may cut you off, but they may be doing it because they're really, really shy. They feel really, really insecure for some reason. It could be you that makes them feel insecure, whatever you're offering that makes them feel insecure. Sometimes Pisces can have this thing where they just let the fear overtake them. Like, you could put, like, a Pisces dream in front of them. Like, I'm offering you a all expense paid trip to wherever you want, and I'm offering you this and that. I'm offering you $1 million. I'm offering you, a record contract. And, like, a Pisces will, like, ignore it. Like, a Pisces will, like, cut it off and be like, like, that's no way. Like, like, that's how they sometimes deal with situations. Not the healthiest, but once again, it's a self-protective mechanism, and they stick to their guns. When they feel something in their bones, like, they stick to it. Like, if they made up something in their mind, like, if they're thinking the worst, like, oh my gosh, if I sign that record contract, I'm gonna, be famous, and then, this and that's gonna happen. But it's on that Pisces perception. Right now I'm getting into a totally different video, but nonetheless, these may be some reasons why a Pisces may ignore you. They may just be insecure or a little bit shy. So kind of be gentle, like, be patient. Can you tell I'm a 7th house in Pisces? I have a lot to say about this topic. By the way, if you're wondering what 7th house is in astrology, that is the house of relationships, one-on-one relationships, our business partnerships, also our first marriage. So if you want to know what that's about, get a birth chart reading from me. A Pisces may very well ignore you or cut you off because they may be mad at you. You may have done something to kind of piss them off, make them upset, and they're ignoring you either as a way to get you back, they're cutting you off as a way to get you back, or they may just be doing it as a way to protect the situation from escalating further. Pisces can actually be very mouthy when they're mad. Don't get it twisted. Just because they're gentle and nice for the most part doesn't mean that they won't get you together, alright? It's interesting. They can sometimes use the silent treatment, the ignoring treatment, the cutoff, as a way to fight back, but also as a way to defend, themselves. Or defend the ones that they love, depending on the situation, right? So they may be mad, they may be a little bit angry, and they may need some time. They may never talk to you again, depending on the situation. It really depends. But most of the times, if there is some anger associated with the Pisces cutting you off or ignoring you, you might want to give that Pisces some space to kind of, like, think things through, to process some things emotionally, intuitively, spiritually, and then come back to you. Maybe in about 7 business days or more. That Pisces may just want to be alone, to be honest. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune rules solitude. It also rules the connection to the spirit world. It rules also creativity. Neptune also rules our hidden strengths and weaknesses, our private affairs. So a lot of times Pisces like to be alone in their private worlds, and they don't like to be bothered. So sometimes, when it comes to that type of thing, you can't necessarily take it personally. We all like our alone time, most of us. And Pisces need that. They're very social creatures. They're very, kind of intuitive, spiritual creatures, always having their feelers out. And that gets exhausting. So sometimes they need to pull it back. They need to recharge their batteries, and they'll get back to you once again in a few business days. Don't push it, or they may not get back to you. Alright? Give them that space. They need it. They may, for some reason, be suspicious of you or not trust you. So they may ignore you or cut you off. You know, Pisces are the types of people who are, you know, kind of like fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, you know, and it's kind of like the 3-strike system. Sometimes it's the 2-strike system, you know, but, you know, if you get more than 2 strikes or more, typically you're out with the Pisces, and it's hard to get back into their good graces, and sometimes you never know what you did to get the strikes in the first place, you know, but you have to take that L sometimes, and once again, give them the space to warm up to you once again. These are some reasons why Pisces may ignore you. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Pisces and the failure to obey reality. My 7th house is in Pisces, so the 7th house rules partnerships, marriage, one-on-one relationships. So when I talk about Pisces, I talk about myself, alright? We all have our own birth chart. We all have our own placements. We're not just our sun sign. If you would like your own birth chart reading, contact me on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. With that being said, Pisces and the failure to obey reality. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. And Jupiter rules expansion of knowledge, higher learning, higher education, expanding our life overall, okay, being tolerant of other people, accepting different ideologies and different beliefs, even if we don't believe them ourselves. Neptune rules spirituality, the metaphysical. Sorry, my cat eyes down. The metaphysical and things of that nature. So when we think of Neptune, we think of our spirit. When we think of Jupiter, we think of exploration, expansion. And this is, you know, what Pisces is all about, you know, their spirit, you know, and expanding and learning as much as they can and taking everything in and meeting all different types of people and learning about all different types of different cultures and things of that nature. So, you know, so when we speak of that in terms of, you know, that, and then we have reality, which is like a whole kind of separate thing, alright? When we think of spirit, when we think of Neptune, alright, because Neptune is Pisces' main ruler, we think of spirit, alright? And sometimes the spirit world, our spirit life, our inner self can be very rich. It can be very vibrant. It can be beautiful. It can be grand. And then reality can be such a Debbie Downer. It can be such a contradiction to what we feel inside. You know, and Pisces is such like a living testament to this a lot of times, you know, and trust me, you know, when we're talking about my love life, like, I definitely attest and can relate to this energy, okay? Like, my love life inside my mind, inside my spirit, is like totally different from my reality. Like, my reality is bleak, alright? Like, you know, but, you know, it's important that I don't say that, actually, because this is what I want to get to, is failure to obey reality. See, you're seeing my 7th house in Pisces come out right now. Okay, so, failure to obey reality, what do I mean by that? So, 7th house in Pisces, or Pisces overall, you know, is all about spirit. And sometimes spirit, you know, when you want to manifest something, you have to trust in your spirit. You have to trust in your faith. Have faith in the spirit. Have faith in the universe. That everything is coming together for your highest good at all times, at any given time, okay? That can be difficult when your reality doesn't reflect that, you know. And reality, you know, goes by certain laws, you know, and failure to obey those laws, failure to obey reality, you know, typically gets you the same thing that you're trying to get away from. For example, you know, I'll take, you know, for example, me, okay? My 7th house is in Pisces, but you take it for what it is. You know, maybe your sun in Pisces, moon rising in Pisces. Like, you know, like, I'm sure you can relate, though. So, you know, we're just going to go with the same topic that, you know, we've been talking about so far, my love life, okay? Like, you know, and you saw me you saw my 7th house in Pisces come out, where I was like, you know, my inner life, you know, my love life is, you know, my inner spirit and connections to love and a relationship is so romantic, it's so vibrant, it's so beautiful, and la la la, you know, and then we have my reality, you know, but then here's the thing about reality, and as an earth sign sun, Libra moon, I should know this. Reality, when we speak of reality, and we speak of manifesting, and we speak of the rules of reality, reality never goes by what it is necessarily going on around you at any given time. It goes by what you feel. It goes by your own beliefs. It goes by your own spiritual values, you know. So when our spirit does one thing and, you know, our physical body, you know, the way we act in reality is contradictory to our spirit, well, we tend to get more of reality. We tend to get more of what we don't want. Case in point, when I tell myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to be single forever, my, you know, outlook on life, you know, my love life is bleak, I'm putting that into my reality. I'm storing that into my reality. I'm kind of, but my spirit world is something totally different, you know? So therefore I'm failing to obey reality. Reality calls for me to, if I want something new, then I'm going to change it myself. I can't change reality by, you know, trying to change everything outwardly, externally. Trust me, I've tried it. I tried changing people. I've tried it all. I've tried online dating, everything external you can think of to improve my love life, to improve my reality. I've tried it. It wasn't until I realized that, oh, my reality, aka the way I'm acting in my reality, is not aligning with my spirit and what I want. Does that make sense? So my spirit life, my inner self is grand. Like your spirit life, your inner self is grand. Maybe, for example, you, like your inner self is, you want to be a musician, a wealthy musician, or a wealthy artist. But right now, your reality, you're working a desk job that you hate. But the way you're acting in your reality, you know, you're not obeying the laws of reality. You know, if you want something, then you've got to work to change it. You've got to change yourself. You've got to change your vibration to match up with that thing that you want. Therefore, you got to obey the laws of reality. The laws of reality state that, or the laws of manifestation, but the laws of reality state that which you want, you must speak it into existence. That which you want, you must believe that you deserve it. That which you want, you must focus on that. And let your heart lead you to that without hesitation. Full-heartedly, full-throttedly, alright? Like, you must focus on that. That's reality. That's the way reality works. Think about it. Alright, we're going to go to the earth signs. Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. So, Capricorn knows, an earth sign knows that if they want to change something, then they've got to take steps to change it. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change with them complaining. It's not going to change with them daydreaming. It's going to change with them doing things day by day, instinctively, no matter what, you know, no matter how bad they may feel, you know, that day. They know that they have to keep doing it because they're focusing on their goal. They're focusing on, they're changing their reality. They're focusing on what they want. And they're working towards what they want, and they believe they deserve what they want. So, Pisces, I say all this to say you have to obey the laws of reality. And I'm talking to me too. Alright, like, when it comes to changing your life, you have to obey the laws of reality. Alright? It's one thing to have a vision of what you want and what you want your life to be and what you want your partner to be like. But if you constantly are dating the same type of guy or the same type of woman, or if you're constantly, you know, going after these desk jobs or these jobs that you know you hate but you know you're good at and you know they pay well, and that's reality, is it? Are you really obeying the laws of reality, or are you obeying someone else's laws? Are you obeying someone else's definition of reality for you? Like, define reality for yourself. You know, let this kind of be, you know, a definition for you. Like, you know, like, let this be a help for you to define your reality. Yes, your reality is one way right now, but are you really going to define it that way? You know, like, it's not going to change just by you envisioning it, just by you thinking it, you know, and you know, hoping for it and wishing it. You've got to change your vibration. You got to change your reality into, I deserve this. I want this. I know I can get it. You got to shift. Okay, you got to obey the laws of reality. Reality says if you want something, then you got to do something different to get that. All right, you got to, you know, stay focused on that thing. You got to stop focusing on what you don't want. You got to, you know, get into the vibration of believing that you deserve it and receiving it, right? That's the way reality works. And it's hard, it's difficult a little bit for like a Pisces. Like, trust me, like my seventh house, I'm just now getting it. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, I totally have not been focusing the laws of reality in connections to my seventh house. Yeah, like I've been wanting and wishing and just in my own vortex and in my own spirit, like, oh, it's going to change. But my reality, I'm still doing the same things. I'm still doing the same actions that get me in the same area. I'm still holding the same beliefs, and telling myself the same thing, over and over. That keeps me stuck in this reality. I have to obey the laws of reality. All right? Failure to obey the laws of reality keeps you in jail, keeps you in a mental jail, keeps you in a spiritual jail. It's so easy. It's just like a shift. It's that easy. It's a shift in our thinking. It's a shift in our vibration. It's a shift in the way we act and the way that we think about stuff and the way we think about things we deserve and the way we manifest, right? It's just obeying the laws of reality. All right? You've already got one part of it down. You've got the part of non-reality down. Like you've got that. You know what you want. You're great at manifesting. But now you've just got to get that kind of practical part of obeying the laws of life, obeying the laws of reality, obeying the laws of the universe. Alright? So I hope this helped. It was a little topsy-turvy all over the place. But I never write down scripts for these videos. I just like talking off the top of my head. It's like talking to a friend. I wouldn't talk to a friend with a script, and I don't think you would either. I think that would be a really weird friendship, but that defies the laws of reality, right? Like, that's weird. But anyways, Pisces, it's time that we start obeying the laws of reality, all right? So that we take ourselves out of our own mental and spiritual jails that we put ourselves in by not obeying the laws of reality. And then saying it's other people. And then being mad when we see other people thriving, but they're just obeying the laws of reality. Alright? Love you guys. Please contact me for your own personal reading at Lamarr Townsend. Tarot.com, whether you want your own personal private tarot reading, birth chart reading, love synastry reading, messages from your spirit guides. Check all of those out on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I also do ebooks. I have an ebook, Zodiac Sign Sex Language, available now on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com, and on Amazon. So check that out as well, okay? Namaste, love, and light. Hey guys, thank you for listening and watching. Please hit the like button, share with your friends and your family, and also please subscribe, of course. And if you're interested in my ebook, check out my ebook, purchase it on my website or on Amazon. I would also love it if you would follow me on my social media, Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, thank you guys for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, alright? I live for you, I ride for you, I die for you. No, I live for you, I ride for you, I'll die for you. They suppressing us, they harassing us, straight gassing us. No, they suppressing us, they harassing us, straight gassing us. I live for you, I ride for you, I die for you. No, I live for you, I ride for you, I'll die for you. They suppressing us, they harassing us, straight gassing us. No, they suppressing us, they harassing us, straight gassing us.